welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over a story titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my wife she can leave because I'm not kicking my older kids out? And guys, this is about a father. He's 43 years old, and recently he's told his wicked stepmother of a second wife here that she can pretty much take a hike after she's been pulling a lot of BS with him and his kids from his first marriage. His kids from his first marriage are good kids, they're teenagers, and you know they got to be good if they're teenagers and good, and really pulled the bait and switch on him. In the beginning, everything was great with them until she got married to him and had a couple of kids with him, and now she wants those kids out of his life. And this guy ain't having it. And I think he's also realizing this ain't going to work. And I've been going to go over here, guys, for many reasons, but most importantly to show you that if you get married and you have kids and you get divorced, I don't know how you could possibly do it again and let alone not do your homework. And if you do get married a second time, you got to do your homework on this woman you're marrying. Because, again, there's a reason. There's a stereotype about the wicked stepmothers. There's stories, fairy tales about the wicked stepmothers. Because it's going to impact your kids. And you got to be prepared for a bait and switch and all that. You got to really do your homework here. And this one here, clearly he did not. Or she did a very good job of trying to fool him. And at the end of the day, the way I see it, your kids come first above your personal quote-unquote happiness with another woman, if that's even possible, to make up for the first marriage that went, in the shitter. So anyway, guys, this is a good one here. It's going to be first his story, and then there's going to be a lot of additional comments he made in the comment section reflecting on the situation. And I think a lot of you guys who have been married and divorced with kids may appreciate this particular story. So it starts off, he says, Hey Reddit, I'm 43 and I've been with my current wife, Amanda, 42-year-old female, for the past 6 years, and we have 2 daughters, Becca, who's 4, and Eliza, who's 2. And while I have 2 kids from my previous marriage, Liam, who's 17, and Sage, 15-year-old female. Well, his now wife is Amanda. I'm going to call her Amanda the Hun, and there's a reason for that. The divorce was less than amicable, and since my ex-wife had more money and a better paying job, she was awarded primary custody despite me fighting for it. Shocker. For the last 8 years, I've had my older kids every other weekend and on Wednesdays. Wednesdays? The fuck's the deal with Wednesdays? A few weeks ago, my older kids asked if they could live with us full-time due to issues with their stepdad. My God, they got issues with the stepdad, and they got issues with their bitchy stepmother here. These poor kids. Liam especially had come to blows with him a few times. Even their mother thought it would be for the best. So mom cares more about this guy than her own kids. Yeah, she's a great wife, or ex-wife. I did talk to my wife about it, and I know she wasn't happy as she feels uncomfortable around my older kids. Although this is something she neglected to tell me until we had our first child together. How interesting that she's suddenly uncomfortable with your kids from your first marriage until she got her crying insurance policy and diapers with another kid with you. Imagine that. Crazy the timing here. Things since Liam and Sage moved in have been hard. As much as I love to get some family therapy, my wife is against it, and we're on a waiting list. Before, when my kids would come over, my wife would take our daughters to her parents a lot to give us space, even though I never asked for it. So she wants nothing to do with these kids. She's one of those. And again, I know this story. They're good kids. By the way, guys, I want to point something out he mentions later. The house they're living in with his second wife here, Amanda the Hun, is his house. In his name, all that across the board. I think he did his homework on that. And Amanda the Hun doesn't work, which is, he takes care of everything, which is going to be pretty bad if they get fucking divorced. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure being a step-parent is difficult, but my kids are really good kids. They have straight A's, lots of friends, play sports, are incredibly respectful. I know I'm biased, but people go out of their way to tell me these things. So it has been terrible watching Amanda nitpick everything they do. Because she's an asshole. Almost as if she's waiting for them to slip up so she can send them back to their moms. That's exactly what she's doing. We had already gotten in an argument over the holidays due to her trying to push them out of our traditions. I think when his daughter gets old enough, she's going to smack Amanda the Hun upside the head. Our oldest daughter, Becca, is going through a biting phase. Okay, Becca is from his next marriage with Amanda the Hunt. Her school wants her to get OT, and I've been working with our insurance since Amanda doesn't like the one at the school, but as always, it seems like there's an endless waiting list. So obviously the house is tense, and we've all been walking on eggshells. Smack! Don't walk on eggshells. You're the man of the house. Let Amanda the Hun walk on eggshells around you, dude. Grow some balls. And I know you do. Then yesterday morning, when I was making us some breakfast, we heard a scream, and Becca came into the kitchen crying and saying that Sage hit her. Amanda ran to the den where Liam and Sage were and started screaming at them to leave. Sage is his teenage daughter. She was obviously pissed, but Sage told her she was sorry. She had been done with the TV, so had changed it onto one of the girls' shows, and Becca got excited and bit her. A little kid in the biting face, huh? She said she didn't mean to slap her and felt bad. I immediately calmed down because I think everyone has been there, but Amanda didn't believe her. Sage had a bite mark, for God's sake. Guess what? Some little kids bite. And the knee-jerk reaction is like, get the fuck off me. Things continued escalating, and our girls are crying, and Amanda screamed at both of my older kids to leave. I'd be like, fuck you. You're not going to scream at my kids. They didn't do anything wrong. If they did something wrong, okay, she can have words, but you're not throwing the kids out of my house, honey. Sage told her she would calm down. He wrote this wrong. And that pissed off Amanda more. Liam and Sage left for her friends and ended up spending the night there. So for the past day, Amanda has been the one saying, I need to pack their things and send them back to the ex-wife permanently. No, bitch, you can pack up. I can't keep dealing with this bullshit. I told her this morning that it was an accident and she needed to let it go, but she's refusing, even threatening to call the police. Really? Call the police? Dude, you really did not screen this woman right. She bait and switched you. The wicked stepmother. She says she can never be comfortable with her babies around Sage anymore and didn't feel safe. Uh-huh. I laughed because Amanda herself once hit Becca for biting her. Oh, how interesting. She ended up taking the girls to her mom's house and told my kids to come back. And I told my kids to come back. Amanda has been texting me that she'll be back tomorrow and the kids need to be gone. Yeah, not happening. I was ignoring her, but finally said that this was their home, and if she was comfortable, she could pack up and leave. There you go. She's probably like, what? My parents came over and basically told me I wasn't wrong, but I shouldn't have said that she should leave. Mom and Dad, I love you and respect you, but butt the fuck out. This is my goddamn house. I can tell her to fucking leave. I know there are some of you who can take back at this point, but I almost mean it. I would hate to deal with another divorce, but Amanda has been so terrible to my older kids the past few weeks, I honestly feel like she's become a different person. No, dude, she's not become a different person. This is who she is. This is who she was when you met. But she wanted, think about it. Okay, this guy's 42 or 43 and Amanda's 42. They met I think he said 6 years earlier, so she was 36. No kids. Single woman. She obviously wanted to get married. Had kids with him right away. Rushed things along. Yeah, this was on purpose. So she was putting on the act. I bet she was all great with his kids from his first marriage until, like he said, their first child was born. No, she put on a fucking act. She played you. Get rid of her. Your older kids from your first marriage are more important than this bitch. He also says, just to clarify some things, when we had every other weekends, plus Wednesday, my wife would take the girls to her parents on Wednesday only, and I would take the youngest to dinner. Before we had kids, she'd go to dinner, but our girls aren't the best at restaurants, so she would be here on weekends. My son is not violent. His stepdad believed in violence as a form of punishment, which I do not and never did, but that's why they asked to live with me. If I had kids and was divorced, and I had kids living with their mother, and a stepfather was laying a hand on him, I'd be beating the living crap out of him. Put me in jail the rest of my life or prison the rest of my life. No one's going to lay a hand on my kids if, I was in that situation. Sage has gone from apologetic to fully devastated about this. She offered to go back to her mom's as long as Liam didn't have to. I told her that would never be necessary. She did not mean to hit her sister, and Becca was incredibly upset about biting her. We are working on it, but we are a single-income family, and I can't afford an OT outside of my insurance. I'm probably going to utilize the school's OT, though despite what Amanda said. Also, our youngest was not planned, but things seem to be getting better, so we were excited. I did get a vasectomy after that, but I love all my kids. You didn't plan your youngest child, but Amanda the Hun planned your second child another insurance policy. Now, he's going to get on to more updates and comments here in the comments section about the situation and all. But I'm going to say this. Based on hearing all this ain't working. She played you. She bait and switch. Or, what? Yeah, I guess you can call it that. But this is who she really is. And your kids are miserable. They can't be with their mom because their stepdad's a piece of shit. And the mom allows it. So, therefore, she's a piece of shit. And now their stepmother, your wife, is treating them like crap too. This really messes with people. End it, dude. Take the hit. You've been married 4 years. Yeah, you're going to be paying child support, of course, because, well, they're your kids, I hope. But, no. You're going to take the hit. You'll be paying alimony, but it can't be that long because you've been with her for 4 years, I hope. And move on. And never fucking get married again. You fucked up the second time. Don't ever get married again. End of story. And you put your kids first. And let them see that. And let them live with you and have a good life and all that. It sucks, but it is what it is. You'll make it. You'll survive. Now, more comments he was saying here in response to comments. One guy, he says here, my last marriage ended because my ex-wife and I disagreed about certain things. She is a high earner and I work a trade. I make good money, but I would never be a millionaire like her. I wasn't willing to change my entire career to fit into her new life. My wife and I made certain agreements when she came to me and wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, the house. So his ex, he wasn't good enough for his ex because he was working a trade and not making enough for her. She probably wanted him to do something else to look good. There's a surprise. This once again backs up why this whole notion that the woman can make more and the guy can make less and not have the same degrees and it'll work out just fine is bullshit. I'm not saying that's always the case, but this proved that. And of course, Amanda the Hun is happy to be a stay-at-home mom because she doesn't do shit. Yes, raising little kids is tough, but you get my point. Another comment, he says here, I can't emphasize enough that I made my expectation for our relationship clear as day before we got married or had kids. If she didn't want to be a stepmom, she could have ended things. Even now, she could get therapy but refuses. I'm not kicking any of my kids out. My kids belong to me. I'm not shipping them off to my parents because my wife is in her feelings. So, yeah, he made abundantly clear that you're going to be a stepmom and these kids are come first and blah, blah, blah. And if you have issues, let's break up. Nope. She wanted to marry him anyway. Why? Because she was probably in her mid-30s, not married yet, no kids yet. She had to find a man. That's what happened. Another thing he says here, she's strict but also against corporal punishment. My wife can't force my kids out. They have nowhere else to go and I want them here. If she's uncomfortable, she can stay at her parents and work on herself. I won't keep our daughters from her, but they live here and can visit her. After all these comments, I'm pretty worn down on her attitude. Dude, it's only going to get worse. And you can end it with her, and she may cry and scream and threaten you things. Don't fall for it. Go talk to the lawyer you used in your first divorce and end this fucking mess. And don't you fucking get married a third time. Another comment. He says, when my kids asked me to move in, and I told them why I wasn't going to say no, this is their home. I did talk to my wife about it and how it could be a good transition, and her only concerns were feeling like her nuclear family was being disrupted. My wife does very little for my older kids directly. My son drives and has a car, and my daughter will be 16 and driving soon. But she always gets rides from her brother, me, or friends. I don't think either has been in my wife's car. They do their own laundry on their days, and yeah, it's coming to throw something urgent into some person's whatever. Both their rooms and bathroom are in the closet, and they keep all those areas clean. They're clean, but definitely more cluttered than my wife would prefer, but they are teenagers. I'm not kicking them out because they have a backpack on the couch. Wife and I alternate cooking. Amanda the Hun has even admitted that they have not added to her workload. She just says living here affects her terribly. Look, I get the dynamic changes when you add 2 new people to the house. Okay, sure, but still. No, she doesn't give a shit about them. He also says, Amanda's my age. There was a discussion about expectations, rules, but it was never a question if they could live here. This is their home and has been far longer than I have ever known Amanda. Exactly, dude. They've not seen their mother and right now do not want to. I've been the sole parent for the past few weeks for my older kids. Amanda does very little for them. If they need rides, help, money, etc., they ask me and do it. Amanda's refused therapy and says she doesn't like it. I mentioned this multiple times. She doesn't like therapy or want to do therapy because she doesn't want some therapist to call her on her bullshit. Guaranteed that's what's going on here. My kids and I are not moving out of our home. And last one, he says, the issue between my son and my ex-husband was not his fault. Ex even admitted this, and it is being handled. No, it's not. He says, there's actually no way my wife would get the house in a divorce. Aha. We've only been married for 4 years, so alimony wouldn't last long, and I have no issues with child support. There is no reason for me to have visitations, especially without my older kids. The girls love their older siblings, but I will look out for evidence of alienation. Okay, well, there you go. So anyhow, guys, I like that he pretty much told her to hit the road, or hit the bricks, like my other channel, and that's that. Who knows what's going to happen here, but I think it's over with. I mean, if she's this bad, his kids, you think it's going to get better? No freaking way. Those kids come first. He screwed up, chose the wrong woman. It happens. But after now, soon to be 2 divorces, he's done. Don't ever get married again. Don't be a Ross. Don't be a Ross from Friends. I think Ross was married 3 fucking times, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you Friends people can tell me that. Or divorced 3 times. Married 3 times. Was the third one, did the third one work out? Or not? I don't know. But anyhow, guys, there you go. Alright, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.